Hello, I'm Alison Stansfield. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and the clinical lead of the Leeds Autism Diagnostic Service. This is an adult diagnostic service for people of all abilities who live in Leeds. The Autism Act 2009 stated that if adults want to seek an assessment for diagnosis of autism, they should be able to do so. Over the past 5 years, whilst working in the Leeds Autism Diagnostic Service, many professionals and carers have come to us asking to have more information and to learn more about autism. Unfortunately, they've all got busy jobs and busy lives and often don't have the capacity to go for in-depth autism training. Because of this, we decided to develop a suite of 5 short films to give a brief insight into what it might be like to have autism. For the purpose of these films, we've interviewed James McGrath, who's a doctor and lecturer at Leeds Beckett University and recently diagnosed by our service. James is really articulate at expressing his own experience of autism and explaining in great detail what it's like for him to have autism.
I'm 37 years old, and 1 year ago I was diagnosed with autism. This wasn't unexpected, although I felt like I was so certain of what the diagnosis would be that it wouldn't be a shock. It was. The experience of the diagnosis and accepting it felt a bit like grief, actually, has felt at different points in my life. I probably could have grown into an adult who didn't communicate with people, spend time with people anywhere near as much as I do, if it wasn't for a certain experience when I was 15, when I had to do a week's work experience, a week out of school, and asked to go and work in a bookshop. So at the age of 15, I was suddenly surrounded by these recent graduates who seemed to me amazingly glamorous people, and they were just so accepting of me.
Welcome to December's Leeds Cultural Conversation. Today I'd like to introduce James McGrath. The title of his talk is Autism, Adulthood and Fictions, Reading Autism Portrayals After Diagnosis. So let's welcome James.
Social communication is something that I suppose I probably lack the instinct for how to go about it, or at least I have less of that than most of the people around me. So there's a real feeling of performance in quite a draining way sometimes, just with interaction in daily life. This is one of my favourite novels of any kind, but in particular for how it deals with autism. Can I just ask, has anyone read that novel? Okay, I nearly missed it. But the thing is, it just didn't get the kind of cultural attention given to these other things. I can't help but thinking, well, the things that do get the big commercial success tend to rely on and reinforce stereotypes. This challenges them. So Professor Susan Watkins at the inaugural talk mentioned about the Booker Prize, and he gave a list of how many. After teaching, there's absolutely no way that I could concentrate on writing or even reading. I can't even talk to people on the phone or answer emails. I can't even exchange text messages. I can't look at my phone when I've been teaching all day. And one of the things that really relaxes me is what tends to be called in autistic communities stimming. So repetitive physical actions. For me, the greatest reward is just pacing up and down a room in quite an energetic way. So I got onto this room on the ground floor of the house. I listened to whatever music is most important to me that day. I listened to that very loud on headphones, just pace up and down. And that combination of physical activity helps me to relax because afterwards I'm a bit tired. That combination of physical activity and just the enjoyment of the music, that is what really helps. Another kind of stimming is I sort of do this sort of thing a lot. Another kind is I might tense my arm muscles almost until it hurts. That is and clenching my jaw as well. Those are things that I do that are actually physically quite uncomfortable, and when I've been doing them a lot, my muscles are aware of that. But if there's some kind of sensory input that I can't control, like a loud noise it's usually a loud noise, or certain kinds of quiet noises, then that thing, I'm able to think, okay, I'm concentrating on my arm. It's uncomfortable, but I can control it. That is another thing with stimming. It's not always comfortable, but it's something you can control. It's a sensory thing you can control.